Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to ZB Nation Plays Football Manager 2017. We have a Year 5 preseason extravaganza for Lansing United. Still in the Venorama South. To recap Season 4, we did well, but not as well as we wanted to. Is there any place we could see that? I guess we could look at history. So last season, in the Venorama... Let me try that again. In the Venorama National League South, we finished in 10th place. Could have finished as high as 6th if we won our last game, but we really did not play well at the end of the season. So, at the end of that season, I said we're going to look at everything we do, analyze how we're putting our teams together. And done that over the off season and had quite a few changes. So we'll take a look at some of that right now. I guess we'll go into the transfers. Transfer history. There we go. So as you can see here, we've got quite a few transfers, but this doesn't show really everybody because I dropped a ton of people. But on this list, you can see some very important players that we have spent a lot of time with in this franchise. KKJ out, Jack Humphrey out, basically our starting central defense. Brad Lindsay out, one of our key midfielders. David Etheridge out, one of our strikers. Clive Hunter, a young player who never really got much play, but he always had a lot of potential. Donijah Paris, another one of our youngsters. Homegrown, decided to part ways with him just because he didn't fit our new model, our new mold of building this team. And why didn't he fit? Well, he didn't fit because he's not athletic enough, not big enough, not strong enough, not fast enough. And I decided that that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the philosophy that I've been using with the Canada under-23s, which is to find, if you can't out-talent people with your skill, at least you can be physical and play a physical style. And in order to play that physical style, you need players who have physical advantages. So a lot of these players that I've let go, they're not big enough, they don't jump high enough, they're not fast enough, not strong enough. And really, that's what I was looking for, the replacements. I'm going with the Nick Saban model of building a team. And if you're watching this video, you might not know who Nick Saban is because he is an American college football coach. He's basically the winningest coach in college football, coast to coast right now. He's got how many national championships? I think he has 5 national championships. He's got like 3 of the last 7 years he's won the national championship. And one of his philosophies is that if there's a question between players in terms of who he brings onto his team, he's going to take the bigger, stronger, faster guy. If they're equal in all other facets, or even if maybe one's a little bit more talented in other areas, he's going to take the more physically imposing player. And so that way, when he's built his team, he has a physically imposing team from top to bottom. So that's what I've tried to do. It's hard to do that at this level because it's not like I can get players who are world class or anything like that. But I can at least do a little bit better than what we have been doing. So I brought in, as you can see here, was a seven new players. Brought in Dominic Thompson, 20-year-old midfielder. I guess we can click on him and get a bigger view. As you can see, he's got 15 pace as a midfielder. That's huge. He's the fastest guy on our team. We don't have strikers with 15 pace. So that's just a huge advantage. And then he also has the acceleration and agility to go along with that. Also has 11 strength. So physically, he is, a workhorse. He's not that big. He's only 5'10", 152 pounds. But, the other stats sort of make up for whatever size disadvantage he might have. But he's not all size. He has some other great abilities. He's got vision. He's got work rate. He can shoot the ball from distance. He's got good first touch. So this is a guy at our midfield. He can really solidify our midfield, and that's going to come into play because we have two of our other midfielders back from injury from last season, and they're physical guys too. So we're going to have a really imposing three-man midfield going forward. All right, then we also went for Albie Hopkins, another midfielder. 12 pace, 10 strength, 12 stamina, 11 fitness. So he's a guy, not only is he big and fast, he's 6 foot tall, but he's also very fit. He also has the agility, acceleration to go along with that. Now, he's not quite as good a player as Thompson is, but he's still pretty good. And he's, got average mental abilities, not the greatest mental abilities in the world, decent decision making, but no other green stats there. And then he also has the first touch, decent marking, decent passing, decent technique. So he's a guy, he's not going to be a starter for us, but when we bring him in off the bench, he's not going to be physically outplayed by anybody. Then we brought in Mustafa Bangara Williams. He's a fullback, right fullback with 13 pace, 10 strength, only 9 jumping reach. Not too excited about that. He also has 13 acceleration, so he's got pretty good physical stats. Again, he's going to be a backup. He's not going to be a starter. But, decent physicals. He's only 5'11", 134 pounds, so he's not a big guy. But he's got decent stats, decent decision making. He could use some work on the mental side of things. He could also use some work on the technical side of things. But he's got a lot of potential. He's a 4-star potential guy. He only has 3 cons. He's 5 pros, 3 cons. So, lack of determination is not a good con to have. But, again, he's a reserve, so not a lot of problem there. Cameron Allen, a striker. We brought in several strikers. 12 pace, 8 strength. He's 5'9". Not terribly imposing fella. But he does have decent pace, decent agility, acceleration. Composure is good. Off the ball is good. He's going to be a very good poacher for us. 12 dribbling. He only has 7 finishing, so I'm a little wary of that. But he kind of makes up for that with 13 heading. So, you get him the ball in the air, and he should be able to score some. Although his jumping is not that great. Again, he's going to be a reserve as well. Probably not a starter. Tom Quinn, right midfielder. Picked up this guy. He just had so much potential. It was hard not to pick him up. He's very aggressive, has some leadership, determination, teamwork, work rate, great mental stats, decent technical stats. Physical stats, not really what I was looking for, but he is 6'3". He's very big over there. Great jumping reach, 13. So again, that's an advantage. He has a physical advantage. He has tall and he can jump. Very interesting combination on the right midfield. He's also very fit, balanced, so he does have some positives in the physical category. Jake Dunwoody, another central midfielder. Again, not a terribly physically imposing guy, but great passing, long shots, decision making. Again, he's going to be a reserve. So he doesn't have to be that overwhelming, but he does have 11 pace, 8 strength. He's 5'11", decent player. Needed more depth this year. I wanted to make sure I had depth in the midfield because last season we ran out of depth in the midfield. We just didn't have any good players in the midfield, so brought him in. And then the final guy we brought in was someone who might make you excited if you're a fan of me not being able to pronounce people's names, because that happens quite a bit in this series. So this guy's got a last name I don't think I can pronounce, but we'll give it a try. First name is Jabril. Got that one down. Adedeji, I think. is his last name. So Jabril Adedeji, at least that's what I'm going to call him. 20-year-old poacher, another striker. But this guy, he's probably going to start. He's only 5'10", only 6 strength, 5 jumping ability, so he's not physically imposing in that way. But 14 pace, 15 agility, 15 acceleration. This is a guy, he's going to be our home run hitter. Going to be our track star. Send him down the field. Run him at the defense. And I think that's something we were lacking in our attack last season. We just didn't have that over-the-top threatening type speed. And I think Jabril is going to give us that. He only has 11 finishing, but that's good enough at this level. First touch and a lot of other things aren't that great. You know, you look at this guy, his mental and technical stats aren't that great, but he's got the physical ability that we need, which is that down the field speed, and he's got a lot of potential. So we shall see. Now let's take a look at the team as a whole. And that's right, your eyes don't deceive you. We've gone with a new formation here, the attacking 4-3-3. I think last season got off to a good start, but at the end of the season kind of went into a shell. Too defensive, relied too much on the counterattack. So this season I want to have a formation in there that we can go after the other team, attack the other team. And so that's why we brought in so many strikers and so many midfielders, so we can go with this 4-3-3 formation and have it be successful. Now our only problem with this formation is fullbacks. We don't really have the kind of fullbacks to take advantage of this formation. Our fullbacks are good, you know, no doubt about that, but they're just not attacking fullbacks. They're more defensive fullbacks. So this is probably going to be, let me take a look. Chukitiali is, so I'm trying to figure out the starting lineup for sure. I don't know exactly what the starting lineup's going to be, but it's going to be some combination of these players. So anyway, we'll start with what it's going to be for this game, which is Miles Bowman in the goal. I don't think there's any question about that. He's one of our best players, one of the best players in the league for his position. And he's going to keep playing well for us. 6'7", 202 pounds. Again, he's a huge guy. Agility is decent. Jumping reach. I mean, by this point, you should know who Miles Bowman is. He's a good goalkeeper. Sam Smith is back at the fullback position. He's only 5'11", 165 pounds, but we know he's a proven player. He's a proven commodity. He's got fitness off the charts, stamina for days. The guy he doesn't get tired at the fullback position, so that's going to be good for this formation. He's going to be able to run down that right flank and give us a little bit of support there. He's brave. He's got good positioning, work rate, all the stuff you need to be a successful fullback. His only problem is crossing, dribbling, first touch, not great for an offensive style fullback. That's why he's more suited to a defensive fullback, but hopefully he can learn some of those skills. I don't know. Then we're going with an all-new central defense. And basically we have the biggest central defense possibly in the entire nation, but definitely in the Venorama. We've got a central defense that would be the envy of a lot of basketball teams. First of all, at the right back is Paul Kalambai, good old PK, back again, all 6'6", 180 pounds of him. He's working on his strength, building up his strength. It's only 9, but he's got 13 jumping reach, 12 fitness, 12 marking, 10 tackling. You know, he's a guy we need to get in there so that he can improve, get better, is what we need out of PK. And with him in the back line, nobody's going to be getting those jump balls on us, especially because he's going to be teamed with Ronnie Dalby, 6'7", 200 pounds. This guy could be playing basketball with that size. Again, only 9 strength, so we're going to be working on that with him. But 14 jumping reach and 6'7". There's no way teams are going to be out jumping this central defense. Not possible. They'd have to be going up against Shaquille O'Neal or somebody like that, and that's just not going to happen. teamwork is really good. He's a good leader, good decision maker. Marking and tackling could use some improving, but he is only 19 years old. So hopefully both these guys get in there, play together, learn together, and they're backed up by two pretty good fullbacks, so we should have a very strong central defense. Keenan Layton, 22 years old, team captain. Should know all about him. He's only 5'11", but he's got 14 strength, so he's a muscular, strong guy back there on the left back. But again, he's more suited to a defensive style, so he's going to struggle, I think, a little bit in this 4-3-3 formation, but at least we'll know that he's back there providing leadership and direction to these young players, and that's very important, so we need him back there. Midfield's very important. Joe Wicks, back from injury this season, 20-year-old midfielder. Again, he's a physical specimen, 6'4", 12 strength, 14 pace, 14 jumping reach, 13 acceleration, 12 agility. It doesn't get much better than that at this level to have those kind of physical stats. He also has 14 vision, which is pretty good, 11 passing, pretty good. But he is coming off injury, so his stats have declined a little bit. However, he does have a lot of potential, so hopefully training this season and getting fit will help him start on the right trajectory. There's Dominic Thompson. I mentioned him. He's going to slot right into that starting position. At 15 pace, he's going to be able to cover a lot of ground, and that's going to be necessary in this formation from the midfield. He's going to play the ball-winning midfielder. And then back again, the wild one, Luther Wilden, guy who was suspended for the last at least 3 games of last season. He was in and out of the lineup all season with penalty problems. So hopefully we're going to move him to box-to-box midfielder, and maybe he can stay out of trouble at that position. But physically, he's another kind of physical specimen we want. 6'1", 12 strength, 15 stamina, 13 pace, 16 fitness. The guy is a horse, and that's what we want. 14 determination, one of our more determined players for sure. So hopefully he can add a little bit of that leadership because he's 22 years old, one of our older players. 13 work rate. So I think that gives us a big, strong, physical midfield that can run for days with those 3 guys. And hopefully, that'll provide us the spark that we've been missing. Speaking of sparks, of course, we need goals. We need scoring this season. So we're going to center our team around Tuki Tiali, 23 years old. Again, a big physical specimen, 6'3", 13 strength, 11 pace. He's dropped a little bit in his physical stats. I'm not sure what's going on at the beginning of this season. He's having trouble getting fit, as is a lot of our team is having trouble getting fit. So I'm not sure what's going on there. His stats are dropping. He was injured quite a bit last season, so I don't know if that's playing into it, but he's got to start getting better, or he's going to be replaced. But theoretically, he's the kind of player we're looking for. And then these 2 other guys, I'm not sure. We have a lot of strikers on the team this season, so I'm not sure who's going to play. But one guy I was looking at was Adadaji Jabril. Looked at him earlier with that 14 pace. Definitely want him in the game at some point in some fashion, even if it's coming off the bench. And Cameron Allen, of course, we looked at him as well. He's the one who's the shakiest right now, other than Tuki Tiali if he doesn't play. Because we have Abrams, McEwen, and Yates all back. Thought they all had, of course, Yates. He's not the physical specimen that we want, but there's just no denying what he does. Even if in our last game, he came off the bench and our team just exploded. Went 3 goals in the last 30 minutes of the match. As soon as Yates came in, our offense just exploded. So I might start him this game for Allen. All right, let's see. He is right foot only, and Adadaji is also right foot only. That's the problem, is the footedness of these fellas. And of course, Tristan Abrams is back. He's a big physical guy, 6'2", 10 strength, 12 pace, 12 fitness, 12 finishing, 12 heading. So he's definitely a viable option up there. I might even start him today for Tuki Tiali. Yates is proven. I think he deserves that right side, because when he comes in, he just makes stuff happen. So there we go. There's our starting 11. We have some interesting backups. Ronnie Vint is back. He's a guy who's probably going to be in the starting lineup. He still gives us one of the larger mid or central defenses. He's 6 foot tall, 12 strength. So again, the guys that I've kept on the bench are guys who have some of that physical ability and have something to give this team in terms of either flexibility or physicality. One of those two things. And of course, we have our midfielders, our left and right midfielders that we can bring on should we need. Harrison Reeves, he wouldn't go away, so I think we signed him to a 2-year deal, so we can't really get rid of him, but I don't know how much we're going to use him this season. Seeing that he's only 5'2" and he lacks a lot of physical abilities. But anyway, don't want to be a sizist or a physicalist. I don't know what you'd call it. But anyway, we're going to go right into our matches, I think. What else can we look at? Finances. Finances looking good. We're only spending $186,000 this season, so we've, despite bringing in those guys, we've definitely cut our payroll, trimmed the fat off this team. We don't have a ton of substitutes. A lot of our substitutes are going to be in the under 23s, so no problem there. Transfer budget, we still have a full $34,000, which we probably won't use. The board is happy. We're still very secure. We still have our contract, so no problems there, 63%. They still won't fix the dang field. I don't know what I have to do to get these guys to fix the field. But that's one of the reasons why I'm being very conscious about the budget is I want them to start spending money on the club. And maybe that's only going to happen if we get promoted. I don't know. But anything else we can look at? Not too much. It's been an interesting offseason so far. I guess we can look at the schedule. Started out very poorly. We were playing some higher level teams and we were just not playing well at all. We lost to Burton, a team we should have beat. And then we came back with a 4-0 win over Croydon. That was nice. Then we lost to Oxford. We had a draw against Sporting Bengal that we also shouldn't have had. But our last game against Lingford finished 5-3. I guess we can take a look at that. That had some fun highlights to it. A lot of goals in this game. Started off early with the goals. This is going to be a marathon kind of session, I think. Because not only do we have this highlights, we've got a game today for Lansing United, and we also have a game for the Canadian under 23s. So maybe we could do a double dip there, but there we get the Adadaji gets the goal started off. It's the 7-minute mark, 7:20. Gets the first goal, and I think, okay, this is going to go good. We're going to be cruising here against this smaller team. But here's a problem that we have with this formation. Is our back line is young, and we do get beat on some of these plays. So here's one. It's going to beat us. Johnson just sort of lofts it in. And then our goalkeeper. I mean, you could really blame that on the goalkeeper as opposed to the defense because he just stood there like an idiot, quite frankly. And I yelled at the team after that goal, like, pay attention. But here we catch him on the counterattack. Adadaji again using that speed, like I mentioned, using that 14 speed, and then an excellent cross to Allen, and Allen with the easy finish. So we go up 2-1 on him after that goal. 15 minutes into the game, it's 2-1. So here we go. Smith to Thompson. This is not a good play. I don't recall. Yeah, there's the steal at midfield. And then I think there's a big mistake coming up here, if I recall correctly. We get caught on the counterattack again. One thing our back line doesn't have that I wish it had was more speed. We've got a lot of size, but we don't have a ton of speed. And that was again, mid-season Bowman makes that save. So I don't think we can chalk this one totally up to our team, but we're being aggressive here. We've got a high back line. So here we are, second half, well into the match. It's still 2-2, 82nd minute in. We sub in Yates at 2-2, and we just start exploding here offensively. Rumble fires it down to guess who? To Yates, and Yates, the easy finish. The goalkeeper didn't feel like didn't want to get his knickers dirty there apparently, so he didn't go to the ground and just got beat easily short side by the one and only Yates. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And here we go. So now, right at this point, it's 3-2. I believe it's 3-2 at this point. I'm getting my highlights mixed up here. I think they work it into the box? No. No, Abrams on the counterattack. Gets it to Yates. Yates, I think you can see this coming, but look at the jump by Yates and then back to Allen for a second easy finish of the game. Goal. So that makes it 4-2 for us. That's right, we go up. All right. I didn't think they came back and tied it again, but I couldn't recall. 4-2. We win the ball at midfield here. There it is. Abrams with the steal. Fires it down to Allen this time. And Allen is going to make the play. I think you can see it developing across to Yates with the short angle goal. Again, that guy, I mean, he comes in and our team just explodes for 3 goals in, 6 minutes, was that? No, it was 8 minutes. 3 goals in 8 minutes. As soon as we brought him in, it was just it was wild. So then in the final minutes, we're in stoppage time, and they get a garbage goal here. Our defense kind of falls asleep here. As you can see, we're playing too high. I stayed on attack the whole time. I wasn't smart, didn't put them in defense. Because it is preseason. So they fire it downfield here. And there's an easy cross and sort of a sloppy finish. Again, Bowman, I don't know what his deal is this preseason. He's not on his game. So there we go. That was our most exciting game of the preseason so far. So you can see our team is coming together. We're scoring, but still have a lot of things to deal with. So let's go ahead and look at our match versus Collier's Wood. Don't know what that's all about. Don't know who these people are. Collier's Wood report. We don't know anything about them. They are in the English Combined Counties League Premier Division, which, I can't say much about that because I've honestly never heard of it. But their players are not good. Their players are scrubs. Grayed out. I'm going to take a drink of tea here. Too much nonstop talking. So their players are all grayed out, so this should be a good win for us. Let's go to our team selection. Take a look here, the 4-4-3. I guess I'm just going to go with the starting lineup that I looked at before. But again, you look at our team. How many games in are we? We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in, and our match fitness is still in the 60s and 70s. And Yates hasn't started yet. He's still in the 50s. So we've just got a long way to go in terms of match fitness, and that's not good. I like to get out to a fast start because usually we need it by the end of the season. So, anyway, we'll start this up. And away we go. Definitely have high ambitions for this season. Definitely want to make that leap, get promoted. See how this new philosophy works for us. Again, we've signed everybody to part-time contracts so that they're going to be training hard. That seemed to work for us last season. I don't think there's any way you can deny that. We just need to watch the match fitness. I think that's going to be a problem this season if preseason is any indication. All right, preview. Here we go. Let's do it. Again, we're going attacking 4-3-3. Let's see what we can do. Try and get comfortable here. Come in for the ride. You know what? Maybe we don't need extended highlights for this game. That would probably be a bad idea. We'll just go key highlights. Let's see if we can get the steal there. Nope, they win a corner from us. Very interested in some live streams coming up soon. There's an XCOM 2 Long War live stream with the Firaxis devs testing the new. You know, it's kind of funny. It's their game, but they're testing someone else's mod. Here's Yates. Yates all alone, and he couldn't quite navigate the traffic there. There's Smith, our fullback, with the not great cross. Oh, they're trying to get the ball to Yates, but it's not working. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting live stream to see what updates, changes they've made to XCOM 2. This is like an all-encompassing mod. I've heard that it changes the campaign and it adds a bunch of new stuff. And obviously it's the Long War campaign, so it's got to make it longer. It's got to make it tougher. The last Long War mod was brutal. Oh gosh, here they are on the counterattack. All right. Does that win them a corner? No, he just fired it up and over. So I'm really interested in that. I might start a new Let's Play of the Long War. Oh no, look at that. We go down a goal. McNaught with a very, very impressive strike in the lower right-hand corner here. Let's take a look at this again. Off the throw-in. There he is just waiting at the semicircle and fires it past Bowman. Huh. So this isn't good. Not a good way to start a game against a team like this. Maybe they need a good pep talk. Assertively concentrate. Here we go. I think we can also start firing the ball down the field. They're only keeping 2 guys back, and we've got 3 strikers. And they're holding the ball as well, so we want to punish them for that. There we go. Get it up to Abrams. Abrams, you got to be better with that, my man. Wilden does the smart play, fires it down. Yeah, now it might be the problem that we've got the 2 right-handed or 2 right-footed strikers out there. But oh, that's a nifty play to Yates. Yates into Abrams, and Abrams gets the goal. So they're already working well together. I've got to find ways to get Yates and Adadaji on the field at the same time. So one of those 2 is going to need to develop their weaker foot and get out there. Adadaji? I don't know. But here we go. Might get another key assist. Oh, there it is. It's Yates again. How did he win that header? His heading is like garbage time. It's Abrams again with the long shot. Nice. Nicely placed. Now, I know this is a team that we should beat and we should physically dominate, frankly. But, you know, should dominate and actually dominating are 2 different things. So if we can if we can execute, then we should be able to dominate. And I don't know what it is, man. Yates, he's just a miracle worker out there. What's his heading? His jumping reach is 4. His heading is 6. Okay. Do you hear those numbers? 4 and 6, not good. Ooh, that off the post. And yet, on that play, he won a header, got it up field to Abrams. Abrams scored. It's just, I don't know, it's uncanny. He's got the luck, he's got the touch. That should be halftime. There we go, halftime lead 2-1. Passionate, this is why we play preseason, motivation. Yeah. So back to the Long War. I'm hoping to start a series with the Long War. It's going to be a longer, tougher game. When they did it for XCOM Enemy Unknown, man, that was brutal. It was unforgiving. So hopefully this one isn't quite so unforgiving, but still challenging. And then the other live stream I was looking forward to is the developers for Endless Space 2. They're going to have a live stream. Here we go. There's a Dadaji. Using that speed. Oh, there's an easy cross to Yates for the finish. This is what I like to see. We can put the hammer to teams, because last season we'd get ahead, but then we'd lose our leads late. But if we got a bunch of 2 and 3 goal leads, it's going to be much harder to lose our lead. Alright, so we can start with our substitutions here. I think Wicks is going to be somebody we're going to need to keep an eye on all season. Only 7 stamina, only 10 fitness. So we're going to have to find a reliable backup for him. But I think we've got several candidates. We've got Rathbun, we've got Dunwoody, our new signee, who'll probably be the guy. But we also have Luke Rumble, who's a good player, good ball-winning defender. But I think it's going to end up being Dunwoody because they play the same position. They're both central midfielders, so it's a good combination. I like subbing a guy out for the same type of player. So, if you sub out a ball-winning midfielder, I like to sub in a ball-winning midfielder. That means you don't have to change your strategies. Unless it's something that you would like to do. Oh, gosh. There's a screw up on the free kick there. And Adadaji. There's our new guy, Dunwood. So that's an interesting combination there. But he took advantage of the misplayed header by the defense and just sort of finished it past an unsuspecting goalkeeper. Okay, so we got a couple more substitutions to make here. Smith is a little bit tired. Bring in Williams. Bring in Vint for PKK. Dominic Thompson. So we'll bring in, was it Rumble? Yeah, Rumble is the other ball-winning midfielder. So we can swap that out 1-to-1. All right. So that's goodness. Good stuff there. 4-1 lead. 73 minutes gone. Ooh, Yates again. Can't quite take advantage of it. But yeah, the Endless Space, to get back to that, Endless Space 2, the devs are doing a live stream of their new update for the beta. The game is still in beta right now. So they've got a new update that's going to go live. I don't know when it's going to go live, but the live stream is on the 19th. There's a Dada J with the goal. I'm going to pronounce his name different every single time. So get used to that. But Jabril with the goal. Nice setup there. There's Dunwoody to Wilden. There's our midfielders playing well. And, I know I focused on their physical stats, but these guys do have some good passing stats, and that's important for the midfield as well, especially when you don't have any wide guys to pile up those assists. So an interesting player on the back end here is Ryan Adams, a guy we picked up late last season. He's got a high value, 10.75, but he's a strange player. He doesn't really have the physical abilities that I like. He's only 5'11", 165 pounds, playing central defense. That's small. I mean, I gotta tell you, that's definitely on the small end of things. Only 9 strength, only 9 pace, only 11 jumping reach. So I'd like to retrain this guy as a defensive midfielder. But right now we're very thin at central defense, so he's going to be playing that position for a while. And let's see, he's a central defender. Vint is a defensive center back, so we'll switch those guys around there. We'll make our final substitution in the midfield, bring in Rathbun for Wilden. Rathbun, he can play box to box. I mean, he's a little bit better as an advanced midfielder, but he can play box to box. I might retrain him as a box to box midfielder. Then strikers, Adonijay, I guess we'll bring in Allen. He's our lone left-footed striker, so we'll bring him in on the left-hand side. And he can play poacher, so that's good. Oh, we got Keenan Layton to get out of there, too, our captain. We can't let him struggle in there. And good old, look who's still there, good old Sam Stewart back again. I should really give him a full contract. Well, I guess there's no need. He's reached his full potential, which is 2-star potential. But really, he's just there just because he's around. He won't go away. He's got crossing and pace and, whatever. He's okay. I got nothing against Sam Stewart. He's just not a guy who figures into our plans at all. There's Rathbun firing it in. Are they going to get another late goal on us? This sometimes happens. Yeah, looks like they're pushing forward. And we are not defensive at all. Nope, there's Vint cleaning things up. Now, Vint should be a starter, and he'll probably end up being a starter at some point this season, but I want to get those 2 big young kids out there as much as possible to see if they can get some growth. Here's Yates with another opportunity. Hey, they made a stop on him for once. Drink some tea. All right, we're in the stoppage time here. 30 seconds to go. Another corner from Rathbone. Dunwoody. There's Williams. He's got a lot of potential at that fullback position, that right fullback. But I don't know that he can. Unseat Smith. Oh, Yates almost got another attempt at it. That should be the game right there. Maybe we'll throw it in and then they'll blow the whistle. There it is. Full time. 5-1. Now this has gone on for a while, so I'll probably stop it here and not do the Team Canada. I'll make that a second separate match. Let's go to the post-match analysis here. Key player Abrams with 2 goals, 8.8 rating. That's pretty good. Player of the match, Adonijay. I gotta sound it up phonetically every time. I don't know. Anyway, he had 1 key pass, but a 9.5 rating. 2 assists, 2 goals. How did he only have 1 key pass but 2 assists? Do they not count assists as passes? That could be. I don't know. But hopefully he continues that kind of productivity, because that's pretty darn good. Doesn't get much better than that. Let's look at the full team analysis. Bowman, not his best game, but he only got scored on once. He made at least a couple of decent saves. That's okay. Distance run for Sam Smith, some interceptions for our central defense. Keenan Layton did nothing. I don't know. He doesn't fit into this style of play. There's no doubt about that. Our team captain doesn't fit with this style of play. But we'll make do. We'll have essentially 3 defenders back. And we'll have to play down the right side, even though Smith is not a great defender. Offensive fullback either, but better than nothing. Distance run for our midfield. We're going to be seeing a lot of that this season with those guys running all around. Yates with a goal, Abrams with 2 goals. Dominic Thompson, our ball-winning midfielder with 9 interceptions. That's pretty good. And then 2 goals from Adada G. So yeah, all around dominant performance for us in the preseason. So hopefully this bodes well. We'll come back with a Team Canada game. We have a friendly coming up for the under-23s. And we officially did not make the Olympics. Figured that out. Some of the teams, though, that are in the Olympics are looking for a new under-23 coach. So I don't know if I'm going to slide into one of those positions or not. I've applied for every one, but we'll see. I don't know. I do want to stick with Team Canada, so it'll be a difficult decision for sure. But I guess we'll come back next time with a Team Canada game, and we'll see you then. Bye.